So it's 10:45. It's way too late. We've probably stayed out too long, but we're going to go for it. We're going to go for the overcut. Hello, everyone. This is episode 2 of the overcut, the late night wrap-up show of tonight's GPVWC Superleagu action. Tonight was the Japanese Grand Prix taking place at the Suzuka circuit. So we're going to have a quick little chat about that, maybe interview a couple of drivers, a couple of other major players of the league, and see what the latest verdicts are. Tonight I'm actually joined by a special guest presenter. His name's Simon. You guys probably know much about him, but he's a good friend of mine outside of Simracing, and he's a pit on me and has decided to help me out. So, sorry.
Oh, hi everyone. Unfortunately, the connection's going down my end, and I can't hear Lee. Perfect.
Have we gone down already?
I don't know.
Yeah, you sound like a robot. Hopefully, if you guys can hear me, we'll keep going that line for.
Yeah, we're getting lag, man. That's what's coming through.
Huge lag. I'm live, but Simon's struggling a bit.
Yeah, all I. Yeah, it's you, buddy.
Again. All right.
See, just before this actually happened, we said, "Oh,
every
don't leave."
Time. Okay. 12. Quickly reconnect. We'll try again. Back in a moment. Simon, hold the fort.
Okay, yeah, I'll hold the fort. Cool, brilliant. Yeah, because I have no idea what the hell's going on. What up, guys? Oh, it might be me as well. My voice connection's gone as well.
Am I better?
Oh, yes, you're better. Hey, at least better.
Hey. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Nice little technical issue. I can't even blame Nico Barkley this time. That's disappointing. Anyway.
He's doing his best Soundwave impression.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. So, pretty entertaining race tonight by most people's standards, I'd imagine. Pretty quiet one for Peter Burlak, but I think that's how he liked it because he won by what was a sizable margin in the end. But we'll get down to why that was in a moment. In second place is Alex Siebel. Whether he keeps that second place, we'll wait and see. He was involved in probably the most controversial moment of the race, which again we'll have a little discussion about. And then Dennis Jordan rounded out the podium in P3. So, Simon, you've had a look at the highlights quickly. You saw the controversial incident, shall we say?
Yeah.
So this, I'll just quickly give you a rundown. It was Siebel in second, Capit, his teammate, in third, and Jarl Tien in fourth place. And they were coming out of the fast 130R corner towards the end of the lap. And Tien was lining up Capit for one of his routine or epic overtakes. And sure enough, they come together. And sure enough, Capit then goes into his teammate Siebel. Big connotations for the championship, all very exciting. The chat in the YouTube exploded, and that was even before Siebel then collided with Tien on the track rejoin. So start giving us some comments on how you guys perceive that. Simon will try.
I love the video that Capit put up.
Oh yeah, with the if you guys haven't seen it on the GPVWC Discord, Capit's put on edited video of that collision with some very, very comedic sound effects. It's worth a watch. Even if you were involved in the incident in the first place, it's still a good laugh. Yeah, as we were saying, quite a controversial one. So send us your comments about that. See what you think. Siebel did put his hands up during the post-race interview and said he just didn't see Tien. He was saying that the track's downhill, the angles weren't right as he rejoins. Bang. whether you guys take that as gospel or not is completely up to you. I think Alex is a clean driver. I don't think there's anything malice in there, but we'll see what we think. But yeah, post your comments in, and Simon will keep an eye on those for me.
Indeed.
Yeah, because I've only got 2 eyes. And yeah, so let's see who we've got on the chat. Let's see who's waiting for a little chin wag. So we've got a couple of people, a couple of drivers, and a team boss. I'm going to bring the team boss in first, I think, if that's okay with you, Simon.
Go for it.
I always like to support my fellow managers. So it's Mike Pittman. He's manager of ACR. Obviously, his team is doing extremely well at the moment. So be interesting to get his take on everything that's been going on, especially as both his drivers were involved in that incident that we just mentioned. So let's bring Mike into the chat. Hello, Mike. Do you hear us? I'm not like a robot anymore, am I?
No more than normal. No, you're okay.
Yes. Awesome. All right then, Mike. So you got Siebel on the podium again, P2. Damage limitation, I suppose, with Edge Esports taking the win again, and you had Capit a little bit further down after that little incident. How's your feelings?
Well, yeah, how to be controversial or not, I suppose. What an episode to have me on for. Ultimately, I suppose actually it's damage limitation. However you look at it, I think actually it did look like the Edge guys had something on us this time out. So the fact we, at the moment, came away with it 1 point more, all right, there may be penalties coming, our way potentially. But even if there is, it's still not a huge drop, as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
We have got that small cushion in both championships, so I suppose it's not be all and end all. I've still got confidence in the drivers that they'll be able to do it over the following races, so I'm not that worried yet. It's not as if again, I'm not worried by their actions either. I'm quite happy that nothing was intentional, so it's not like I'm worrying about the mindsets over the next few races either.
That's good.
You chat with them afterwards as well, and I was on the wall at the time, so I think I was more annoyed than them.
So just to pick up on your little comment about Edge there, you reckon they might have a half a step on you guys at the moment, perhaps? Would that change your approach at all?
This track, I think they did. The way upgrades obviously work, we've gone a different route to them. They're very front wing orientated. I think it let them run a slightly different setup to what we could here. At other tracks, that's been in our benefit, but this one particularly, that we always envisaged they'd be a lot closer anyway. I know that Burlak said in his interview that next time out he thinks he'll be doing quite well, but we're quite confident there as well, so that's quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in the final 2 tracks, I think I'm towards us anyway. From the car currently, obviously there is upgrades as we had between now and then.
Yep. And is it around now that you start thinking about team orders? Is Risto's championship pretty much done now, do you reckon? Or
I don't need to give team orders. I think they're fully aware of what they, I've got 2 great drivers there, and they know what they need to do. I think Risto's fully aware that, if I'm honest, Alex has got a step on him, and he's quite, although he's not giving up a title battle by any means, it is now looking as that. I mean, we're at the stage where if it all stayed as it is now, Alex technically could win the championship next time out. Again, unlikely at this stage. But then I look at it and go, Alex has got to win 1 out of the next 3 realistically to win the title. In fact, if he does that, he's won the title, hasn't he? So regardless of what Bert does,
that's correct. Yeah.
So considering he won 7 this year already, chances are we should be okay.
No, I don't. Not without putting people off or anything, but I think it's it's coming to a point where it's a bit of a foregone conclusion. It's going to take quite a mess up.
Well, I say that I don't have faith in German internet, it would appear. It's already let us down a few times this year.
Indeed. But I always firmly believe that each team has one dose of bad luck throughout the season that you just can't help. I think you guys had at the start of the season, so I think it's a safe run in for you guys, shall we say?
I'd like to have thought that, yeah.
So what I'm interested in asking you and getting your take on it is that a lot of the teams a bit further down the grid have introduced new talent recently onto the grid, and it's made everything a lot more competitive. Do you think it's good that we have such a high driver turnover if it means that we have more talent coming in, or would you rather see a bit of consistency on the grid as a whole?
Well, I think if anyone who's followed the league for many years now, you'll see there is quite a lot of turnover for some of the lower teams anyway. The way that sadly, in some respects, the way that the league is, in that we have car upgrades and we don't have even cars, is fantastic, I think. But not every driver will agree on that, particularly if you're running midfield or in a lower end spec car. It is a lot to ask to put a lot of time and effort in. It's not like Formula One where you're driving around in a slow McLaren but getting paid 20 million, a year. It doesn't, that kind of, can help you cry into your mansion. Whereas here, you're sitting at home practicing for hours and hundreds of laps or thousands of laps before the event to know the best case scenario is 10th. That's quite a mindset. So and it's a long season as well. So at this stage of the year, some things are already set for certain teams as well. Some are trying out drivers for next year. They might be looking at next year's driver lineup already. And then, it's as well. The other side is that the league has changed an awful lot in the last 12 months. And the lineups that you came into the year with, which might well have been okay at the start of the year potentially, or would have been fine last year, aren't looking or have not proved to be up to standard. And, Lee, you'll know as management, it's... you have to make these hard decisions sometimes. I like to make those hard decisions at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But that being said, if somebody's particularly poor or has a horrendous DNF rate or is getting massively outscored by their teammate every single time, it may be a question of going, like I've done in the past, and sort of, okay, I don't think you're at this level, but I'll find you a seat in Super Cup or something like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't completely ditch the driver.
It's always a moving target as well, isn't it? I mean, as you said, the quality of the field, it fluctuates as the season goes on. So kind of trying to keep on top of that wave as such can be a challenge sometimes for some of the teams. Any questions at all, Simon? Have you got anything to add before Mike goes?
No, really. I'm sort of new to this. Really, it's quite interesting hearing you guys talk about it. It's, this whole sim racing. It's crazy interesting.
What's Ali's view then? What's your first impressions then, Simon?
Wait a minute.
Lee's been trying to get me to watch sim racing for years. I mean, I've big F1 fan, but never really got into the sim racing and that. And I tell you what, I watched the last 15 minutes of the race, and it was really interesting. It was really good fun.
You mean Lee hasn't managed to get you to watch Australia yet?
No, he hasn't. No.
Surely he's had you pinned to that.
I'm going to save that for the end of the year. Let's see how the rest of the season goes out first.
I thought everybody he knew had a copy of that race by now.
Well, wait. Let's wait until the end of season GPVWC day when I'm handing out the DVDs. Oh, watch out this race. Check out this one. Amazing. Yeah.
That sounds about right, to be fair. Yeah. I'll want my copy.
See, this is a whole new world that I'm seeing here, like of Lee. Because I mean, I've known Lee for years now, and this is like a brand new sort of side of him I've seen now. So it's quite interesting to hear what other people think of him.
Steady.
What I was going to say, what's the other side? On weekends, he's something completely different? Or?
Right, we're ending this conversation. That's it. Thank you very much, Mike. You've been a pleasure as always.
All right, mate. Cheers. Good luck.
Cheers, up, mate. Right, so that was Mike. Ever the character, but really good insight as well. And team management in GPVWC, a really interesting aspect of how the whole thing actually works. So always good to talk to a manager. What are you thinking, Sam? Is there any comments going on? What's happening?
One good thing is that they can't hear me on YouTube, which is good. Apparently, I'm very quiet. So give me a second, guys. I'll try and get that sorted out. You have to bear with us.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Little technical gremlins, but that's about right, really. It's fine. So let's have a look at how the standings are after the results. Now, these are all very sketchy because obviously there might be some post-race penalties and there might be some updates that are slightly out. But we'll see what happens. So Siebel is still in the lead for ACR Zach Speed. He's on 251 points. So as Mike said, he can actually win the championship at the next race. 3 races to go, 25 points for a win. So if Siebel wins and Burlak doesn't score a point, we have our champion. Peter Burlak has now moved up to second after his win. He's actually in a really good run of form at the moment. The last 6 races, 5 of them have been in the top 5, and that's 4 podiums as well. So he's in a rich vein of form at the moment. He's on 200 points. Nice round number there. And Risto Capit, the second ACR Zach Speed, is in third. So it's hanging on in there. But again, it's looking very unlikely now, considering it's his teammate who's in the lead in the same car. You'd think it's probably coming down to a 2-horse race now. You got Yaltien in fourth. After not being able to race in Singapore, he really needed a strong result today, and he didn't get it, unfortunately. 19th is not what he was after, and I think you could pretty much rule him out now. Just trying to quickly do some maths. He is still mathematically able to win the championship, but I think he'd need a miracle. And then you got Dennis Jordan round out the top 5 for Evolution. Another podium for him. That's his 6th of the season. So, I mean, Dennis Jordan's quietly impressed, hasn't he? He's always been up there. Hasn't really had much of a bad race, apart from a couple of non-points finishes recently. So that's your top 5 in the drivers. And in the teams, ACR Zach Speed, I think, no, they haven't won it, have they? No, they haven't won it yet. So they're on 446 points, with Edge Esports still hassling them in second place on 393. So a bit of a gap, but not insurmountable. It's still to play for. You never know what might happen in the last 3 races. They're tracks that can mix things up now and again. So let's wait and see in regards to the teams. Evolution is best of the rest in third place on 255, with Epic in fourth on 227. I'd like to say that'll be a close battle, but I think those positions are probably going to be set in stone now. And then Hawkeye a little while off in fifth on 155. And they head the midfield pack, really, of Nordran, Red Archer, and Evil. I like to say Eval, I should say. They're all kind of close, but again, it's going to take quite a shift for positions to change. The closest battle really is for ninth, and that's between Adonis and Flag to Flag. 1 point in it at the current standings, at least. So plenty to play for there. Maybe more for pride than anything, but still a position to be gained either way. How are you sounding now, Simon? Are you back up to...
Well, yeah, I feel okay. Oh, am I too loud now?
Whoa, you nearly gave me an ear bleed.
Oh, never mind.
It's all good. As long as everyone else can hear you, then...
It sounds like we have a problem with... you can hear me on Discord, okay, but I think YouTube is a little bit different. You'll have to let me know. Let me know how I sound.
Yeah. All right, should we bring another person in?
Do it.
Right, I'll let you choose. Dennis or Jeffrey?
Can we have both of them?
Can we have both of them? You cheeky monkey. But yeah, we can.
Yeah, all right, cool. Wicked cool.
Let's bring them both in. So, Dennis and Jeffrey coming in now. Yeah. They probably weren't ready, but we certainly were. Hi, Dennis and Jeffrey. Can you hear us?
Hello. Yes, loud and clear.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So, eventful race for both of you. Dennis first, how do you think the race went?
Pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, P3 looks much better than it should have been, but that's all down to my mistakes.
So what? I'm trying to think back to your race, because it was a bit uncharacteristically untidy for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I completely missed my pit stop on the first stop, so that's where I lost, I don't know, like 5 seconds or so, and then I got stuck behind Risto and maybe got a bit, too frustrated behind him, and tried a few moves that were not really gonna work, and just lost more time.
And you had quite a nice little couple of laps tussle with Yaltien as well. How do you feel about that little defense he made into 130R, where it looked like he squeezed you a bit? Let's be honest here. It looked like he squeezed you and caused you to run off wide.
Yeah, I thought so too. But I mean, I think it was at a point where we both could have backed out of it, so it's not really his fault. I mean, it was a bit frustrating that the lap afterwards, when I tried to go side by side with him, he again pushed me out. But I think it's all okay. Yeah,
good. And Jeff, how about you? The first 10 laps kind of done your race in, really. But how do you see it?
Well, I think you are the best to judge my race today, but but yeah, it wasn't ideal race. Partly because of my fault. But pace was good today, so I still managed to get back a point. Yeah, not the ideal race, but it's all up to me to practice more and not do silly mistake in race. But the pace is there, so we'll see for the upcoming free race.
Yeah, and that's always the kind of the compromise, isn't it, between how much you're able to test and what else you need to do outside of racing and stuff like that. How would you approach that, Dennis? How do you balance everything out in terms of preparing for the race and stuff like that?
Well, it's definitely something that I have struggled with in the past, and I think it's quite important to, right from the beginning of the season to, set your level of how much you want to test all throughout, and maybe set it a bit lower than some guys are doing in the beginning, just so you're always motivated to going.
Indeed, and it makes a big difference as well, doesn't it? The amount of time that you put in on track always shows in your end result and everything like that. But a fine balance to make. From my point of view, Jeffrey, I thought your recovery after the first 10 laps, the last 43 were fine. I'm not going to fire you or anything. Don't worry about that. How was it wearing the Adonis as a handkerchief? What did you think about
that? I don't know. Well, to be honest, I was feeling very quick at the start of the race and wanted to get moved on very quickly, but was probably a bit too optimistic from my side, and he didn't see me coming, and yeah, we had a unfortunate crash. So
yeah. So you two, you represent Evolution and Epic respectively. We're kind of close in the teams championship. Do you think that will go down to the wire?
Yes.
Good answer.
Go crazy.
I wasn't holding a gun to Dennis's back just then, I think. Tell you why.
Well, I will answer yes then in that case.
Good.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, what you guys already went through, all the engine penalties, we still have to take them, or at least on my car. So we definitely.
Oh, that's interesting.
Have one race where there's a high chance of maybe even not even finishing the race if we have to start from the back. So we can't just say we have it safe. But yeah, it's nice to have a buffer now.
Absolutely. Simon, do you want to probe the drivers' minds for a question or two? Ask them anything. Go on. You're new to this. Ask them anything. Ask what they had for breakfast if you want to.
Okay, I'll go one. I'll go on. How long have you guys been racing for? I mean, what's your experience? I mean, because I'm very new to this, so I'm just trying to get used to each of the drivers. We'll go with Dennis.
Well, I think Rfactor League since probably 5 years now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, some more professional than others, but yeah, just a few years already.
You enjoying it?
Sure.
Brilliant. Okay, and Jeffrey?
I start sim racing on race 07 in 2009.
Oh, okay, that's quite a few years then.
So was first mainly doing touring car racing with Chris Shepard, who is also racing on GPV right now.
Okay.
But yeah, racing on Rfactor2 competitively since 2015, let's say.
I gotta ask. So, what's Lee like as your manager?
Oh, come on.
Well, he's a nice team manager. I'm in the team since 2014, so I wouldn't stay for long if he wasn't a good one.
That's good. That's good to hear.
See, I look after my guys. they know to stay in line and compliment me when asked.
You've trained them well, Lee. You've trained them well.
I have. Right. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we move on?
Oh, I let Dennis talk.
Not really, no. I mean, it was fun race. I like this format you're doing here, and I hope that there.
We enjoy talking to you guys as well. You guys make it. So the more people that come on, the better this program will be. So we appreciate you're spending your time, especially as it's probably quite late for you guys now, I'd imagine.
But yeah, for my side, yeah, it was a nice race also, and yeah, it's nice to have this kind of show. I hope maybe for future it can be promoted on GPV Discord for more popularity and having more viewers possibly and more guests joining in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Spread the word, guys. We're relying on you. Right. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Cool. So there's a couple of drivers that had kind of similar races. Tidy. Well, no, not tidy, I should say. But they still scored some points at the end of the day. And sometimes that's what separates the great from the good, is that how they recover from issues and stuff like that. So interesting one. What do you think, Simon? What's your opinion?
Yeah, it's yeah, I apologize. I am a bit distracted. I'm a bit distracted at the moment because there's something going on with the feed, so I'm just making sure it's okay. So, but we do have a comment on YouTube though.
What is it?
Mr. Coffilino. I apologize.
No, that's Nico.
Is that Nico, is it?
Ah!
It goes, wow, you got an interview with Dennis, the most he's spoken in 2018.
Yeah, well, this is it. This is the overcut, episode 2 already, and we're getting the exclusives. I mean...
Okay, we got another one as well from Shark the Vlog.
Shark the Vlog, yeah.
Yeah. Question, will the cars be using the Halo in 2019 or be staying with the current look?
Ooh, well, I think Jeffrey could have done with a Halo today after the Adonis mounted him. I don't think we will. There was a bit of discussion about it early on in the season, and I think it would purely just be aesthetically. There wouldn't be any performance gains or anything like that. It wouldn't change how the car drives. If anything, it'd just get in the way of the driver's view a little bit. So it's highly unlikely because it's sim racing. Lives aren't at stake.
Yeah, and it's very different. I mean, you don't need it, do you? It's just
no. I mean, I completely believe we need it in real life motorsport. It's proven its worth already.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it proved it last a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. But in sim racing, I mean, we just spoke to the driver who would have been decapitated. So I think that kind of answers your question, really.
There you go.
Right, we got. Go on.
No, carry on. Yeah, go on.
Okay. We've got a couple more people in the green room. They're hanging around. We've got a driver, Boyan Milan. It's kind of like an epic fest. There's got to be some more people outside of my team. I
tell you what, they want Milan on.
They're calling for Milan. They want his blood.
Yeah, they do.
Shall we bring him in? Shall we? Okay, peer pressure. Fine. All right. Boya, you coming in, mate?
You told something like, what?
Oh, whoops. Hi,
hello.
Did we catch you off guard there, mate?
What's going on here?
How's it going?
Well, not that good, to be honest. I fucked up in the race, and yeah, basically.
Oh, with the stop and go penalty. What happened, dude? Come on.
I just pressed the pit crew instead of the pit limiter, and not only I speed in pits. But I didn't even see that. 3 seconds changing the tires as well.
You would have gone away with that.
Yeah. Well,
mate. Okay. Crowning glory. But you recovered to the points again. So was it 13th in the end?
Yes. 13th.
Yeah. All right. So this race aside, how do you think the season's gone for you? You've had a lot of points finishes. And most of them have been top 10s at that and a couple of podiums. So fulfilling expectations?
To be honest, I don't think I did really well. I had maybe 2 or 3 good races, and then in the rest I was or fucking up or bad pace or connection loss, shit like that. So I'm not so happy.
I mean, I suppose if you compare it to your exploits in the Virtual Endurance Championship, and in that regards, yeah, you might say it's a little bit down on your high standard as such. But I mean, it's your first season in Super League, isn't it? And you're 7th in the standings, ahead of much more experienced individuals in this category, I'd say. You can't be too hard on yourself, can you?
Yeah, it's not bad, but you know, you always want more, and more when you know you did a lot of mistakes or you had luck. Well, but anyway, it's not about the first season, to be honest.
Yeah, good. And you reckon you're sticking around for seasons to come?
We will see. It depends more on the, let's say, the admins in GPV than me, because with these rules that this year we have, I don't think I will drive there.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, this is something that I think is going to be brought up in the off season. There's a lot more people that are interested in the rule making side of GPVWC now, and there's some really good ideas being thrown about, I think. So hopefully, I think as the season winds down, we should get a clearer view as to what direction the series is going to go in. Simon, any questions, mate?
Yeah, we got one from Tyler Parker asking about the sweet overtake on lap 49.
Yeah.
Well, what happened there?
Just Jordan was driving like a grandmother with his tires. I mean, he didn't have tires there.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it's true, man.
You gotta sell it though.
But it was good.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think we got another one from Nico. He's saying that you complains and practices on the last day.
Yeah, start practicing today. Basically, I did maybe 10 laps before there.
You just like Raikkonen, you just rock in at the last minute. Like, yeah, all right, I'll drive the car. Come on.
Yeah, well,
it works though.
I don't have a lot to fight right now, so.
Oh, I don't know. You're only 30 points.
If I was fighting for the title, I'd be sure that I will be practicing more. You know.
2019. Let's see what happens. All right, boy. Thanks again, and
Thank you.
We'll see you at the next round. Nice one, mate.
See you, mate.
Cool. Yeah, boy is a good man. Good man. He's character. Good. So, any other comments, Simon? What else is happening on YouTube? Looks like it's quite a bit.
Yeah, well, as I said, the ones I've given you already, and they're just talking amongst themselves at the moment. I'm guessing we're boring them.
There's another one here from Shout the Vlog. Will they change at all? For example, a more complex side pod area and front wing. That's an interesting one. What do you think about the cars? Do they look the part, or do they look a bit basic? What do you think?
I like the look of them. That was another thing I was looking at earlier on. Hang on, I like the look of them. I think they're your typical F1 sort of cars.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, I mean, you want to, you kind of want to stay away from them looking too complicated, because obviously then it gets lost in the detail. You can only see so much resolution during the stream anyway and stuff like that. So it's kind of a balancing act, isn't it? I mean, I think the shape of the car is going to stay the same. Whether there'll be any subtle changes for next year, that's completely up to the admin and the mod makers and stuff like that.
I saw the other day they were showing you the predictive 2021 of the new F1 cars.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the other end of the scale, really, isn't it? That's full hog, really exciting, but is it also practical? I mean, that would be a lot of data to have to build into a mod, and then everyone connecting with all that data. It's a balancing act. At what point do you forego quality of racing for aesthetics and stuff like that? Yeah. Right. So we've got some more people waiting along. Go on then, son. I'll let you pick this one. So either Robert Strachan or Yuri Kazdorp.
Okay, we'll go with Robert because he's been in there for a while.
He has been in there for a little while. This is going to be entertaining. I'm expecting this to last about 2 minutes. Here we go. Eddie's in. We've got Robert Strachan in with us.
That was a really bad idea. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, it was Simon's idea. It wasn't me. I am distancing myself here. I'm going to let you two talk whilst I go through a couple of things. All right. So, Robert, what do you think of the race, first of all? And Simon, you go on.
I like Pool. I also think Risto Capit makes a good cue ball.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Go on.
No, go on. I mean, because you know more than I do. I'm literally just here.
I said I was going to take a back seat, so this is your interview. You go for it.
Yeah, you've literally picked the worst person to interview. I genuinely have 0 IQ. I've actually reduced the IQ in this place by about 30.
Like, it can't be any worse than me, man. I mean, this is the first time I've actually been on here.
Trust me, I can't even remember the race. I just remember watching Risto go flying, and Jeffrey Fournier ended up with Yuri as a hat, and that is it. I was too busy. I was too busy talking crap in the GPV chat with Mike Belland.
Ah, right, okay.
Where is Mike Bell?
Mike Bell's allergic to the camera.
There's no camera.
It doesn't matter. He burns.
He burns. Well, he can burn with us. If anyone's seen a wild Mike Bell anywhere, tell him to come over here and we'll get him on. Have a nice chat. So, what did you make of that incident then with Siebel, Capit, and Tien?
I mean, it just sort of looked like Team almost didn't judge the braking just quite right, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Because obviously Siebel was on the racing line, so if Risto could slow down, he'd gone defensive, where, you know, instead of being right behind Siebel under brakes. And Team didn't exactly have a place to go properly, and then sort of just smashed into the back of Risto. And it's actually quite impressive. How, you know, Risto didn't just get shunted straight forward, but he managed to basically go at a perfect angle to smash straight into the back.
Maybe we should have a look at the steering angle on Risto's car.
Yeah, he'd be using them as like paddles in the air.
Okay, you're completely unattached to any teams in Super League, so I want to put you on the spot here. How's the rest of the season going to go? Who's going to win?
I have no idea what I'm doing here. Honestly, no. I'm stupid.
Okay, insightful as always.
Oh god, yeah. I did say bringing me in here was a massive mistake.
Do you know what? I don't feel as bad now. I don't feel as alone anymore.
It's okay. I was only here because Nico was posting memes. What was that, sorry?
Is there anything else you want to add? Is there anything on your mind? What? Come on.
Mike Bell smells like poop.
Mike Bell, we need a reaction from you there, buddy. You can't go along with not responding to that. Right, Simon, comments. Come on,
yeah,
save us.
We got another one. Let's go with VBM on YouTube. Who's of the drivers making their SL debut or return today would you, if you were the team manager, keep around or drop? Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a tricky one. That would be Mike. He's trying to put me on the spot here because I put him on the spot earlier. Right. He's done a couple of races already, but Daniel Brewer seems like an absolute catch for Madcape. Been very impressed with him, and he's kind of starting to save him now in regards to relegation in Super League. He's putting his best effort in, I can see, for Madcape to survive. So yeah, I mean, if I was in Madcape's shoes, I'd be signing him for the next few years at least.
Yeah. So he came 8th, didn't he, today?
He did, yeah. And that Madcape car is not a competitive one, really, in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, he did well there. I don't think really anybody else stood out from this race in particular. I mean, Yannick Bock's been around for a few races now for Evolution, but he was showing speed aplenty in other series, so it was kind of expected for him just to slot in and be right up there straight away. Yeah. So yeah, I'd probably go for Brewster.
Okay. One other question from Tyler Parker. Do you think refueling will ever re-enter the SL at all?
Yeah, I think it will. At some point, I think it will. Again, because it's only not in F1 because they want to promote hybrid technology and future technology, and also from a safety point of view, you don't want gallons of fuel splashing all over the place. But then sim racing, there is no hybrids. We want to be future proof and stuff like that, and no one's going to burn unless they're nuking their computer between their legs or something. So in that regard, there's nothing to lose from refueling, and the racing might be more interesting. There's another strategic element, so more people are brought into play, makes it more interesting for the team behind the scenes with the engineering side of things, strategy. I think it should make a return, and it probably will make a return as well at some point.
Nice, cool. Yeah, that's it for the time being.
Yeah, good. So shall we bring Yuri in? He's been in for a little while. Yeah, all right then. Yuri, let's bring you in, matey. Hello, Yuri.
Good evening.
Hey, you're a bit quiet. Simon, turn him up a bit, will you, whilst I'm talking?
I can give it a go. I mean, it's turning you up, buddy.
Oh, no, that's all right. I got it then.
Yeah, you'll
try now, you. Try now.
Yes. Hello.
I can hear you now. Yeah, good. How's it going, mate?
I'm all right.
Good. Thank you for riding one of our cars early on in the race. I hope you enjoyed the experience.
Yeah,
how was the race from your point of view? That was a really good recovery, actually. You scored some good points there.
Yeah, I don't know how. Every time on track, I didn't overtake anyone, and then I pitted, had some clean air, and then was like a couple of positions ahead. And then every time I pitted, I gained a couple of positions. So
you seem to be. Yeah, you seem to make a habit of that. You always seem to be on the alternative strategy, and it always works for you when it doesn't work for others. What do you think that's down to? Are you really good with looking after the tyres, do you think, or driving style, or what do you think?
Not at all. I had to triple stint softs to just push the whole time.
Yeah.
Because just being in clean air helps a lot, because when you're stuck behind cars, it's easy to lose like 5-10 seconds. And at the end, that's like a lot.
Yep, definitely. And towards the end of the race, obviously, Risto Capit was storming back up through the field after his late stop. From your point of view, how much were you going to fight that, or did you think he's on better tyres, he's in a better car, I'm not going to give it too much of a hassle?
I wouldn't say he was storming, he was holding me up. I couldn't get close enough on the straights. I think I had a bit more ring, and then I couldn't really get close enough to make a serious attempt, and I saw we were catching up to some cars anyways, so it wasn't really. I was gonna wait till we got up to some other cars to maybe have a chance, but he got past us, and then I got stuck a bit.
So you've raced for Adonis for the last few races now, haven't you?
Since Spain, I've done most of them.
Yeah, good. So do you feel like you're set here now? You belong here, and Adonis is the team for you moving forwards?
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah,
we'll see it. Maybe next season I'll try to take it more serious and see how things go. But by the looks of it now, I think I'll just do a couple of leagues.
Okay, good. I mean, I think you're a talent. I think you contribute to the grid really well. So it'd be a shame if you didn't stick around. I think you bring a lot to it. So fingers crossed you hang around. Simon?
Yeah, no, man, that's cool.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? What's the rest of the season looking like for you? Is there any targets that you want to hit? Any like top 5, maybe a podium?
Yeah, I'd like to get a top 5 every time I've been in a position to get a top 5. My car's failed, and then some other races, some other stuff happened, and a couple of races I haven't had the pace, and now I think I had the pace, and then quali was kind of I was held up on my quali lap, and then I had to answer with Jeffrey. So getting a top 5 would be nice.
Yeah, well, I think you certainly have the pace to do it. So watch this space, and we'll see what happens as the season comes to an end. Right, excellent. Thanks. Cheers, Yuri. Right. So I think we've got time for one more chat, and then we'll start wrapping it up. Is there any other comments at the moment, Sam?
No, that's it for the time being, buddy.
Come on, guys. Give Simon a little bit of love just before we finish here.
Yeah, give me something to do. That doesn't involve too much talking.
Come on, you're doing fine. So I've seen Ricardo Costa has joined the green room, but his mic's muted, I should say. So if Ricardo wants to speak, can he just let us know? Or maybe we should just drag him in. Should we just drag him in and see what happens?
Yeah, see what happens. Let's see if he yells.
Just have like 2 minutes of awkwardness as I talk to myself. Yeah. Okay, let's bring him in.
Better than last week.
Oh, that stings. All right. Ricardo's coming in now. Ricardo, do you hear us? I knew it.
I think he's shy.
No, he's not shy. We'll give him one more chance. Ricardo, do you hear us? Never mind. Let's take him back. All right. So, Simon, let's start wrapping things up. So this is your first experience of sim racing. Granted, it was all of 15 minutes, but nonetheless, from those 15 minutes, what have you gained?
Right. Okay. So it's intense. I'll give you that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect as much drama. I say drama is the right word, but there was a lot going on. I mean, who was it? I don't know who the driver was, but it was between you and your Epic team. You know, it was the Red Bull sandwich. Wow, actually, no, it's an Epic sandwich.
Yeah,
and that was interesting to watch. And it was a really interesting race. Well, from the last 15 minutes I saw.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite typical of this season, really, is that there's always been fights up and down, and not just at the beginning of the race, but throughout the race as well. And I think the admin need to be applauded for making a mod that has contributed to such good racing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything as streamless as this. And you were explaining to me before the show like how massive this thing is, and like how it's not just about being the most popular driver. It's everybody's having fun. Everybody's, this is a hobby for people.
Yeah, I mean, I think for some people as well, it's even more than just a hobby. This is kind of like their motorsport opportunity.
Yeah,
so
exactly, yeah.
Obviously, motorsport's such an expensive sport to get into. You got drivers on the grid here who are really good at karting and everything like that, and then perhaps the opportunity never presented, and so sim racing kind of then comes in as almost like a surrogate, and gives them that thrill. Still, obviously, it's not going to touch real life motorsport, but it's going to be as close as some of these drivers are going to be able to get. And so,
and I think that's incredible. I think that's such a great thing to go for. I mean, it's really good fun. I mean, it was really good fun, and hopefully next time I'll try and catch a full race.
Yep. I mean, that was going to be my next question. Yeah, are you going to stick around? Do you think you've caught the bug?
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely carry on watching, and and I would definitely have you. Well, obviously, I'll help you produce the shows and stuff like that. But this is very new to me as well. Talking live to everybody as well. It's very out of my comfort zone. So
this is the second time I've ever done it.
Yeah.
Right, we've got one more question. Are you okay? One more question. Yeah. Where do you think this season ranks compared to previous years? Well, the previous years I was merely a spectator. I wasn't actually involved from a team entry point of view. If anything, it's made me appreciate the effort that goes into Super League. But in terms of entertainment, I think it's the best one yet. From the 5 years that I've been taking part in GPV, I think this is numero uno at the moment. The quality of the field is astonishing, and a mistake, you usually pay for it. So
have you got a favorite moment so far?
Well, aside from Melbourne, so Melbourne, when Epic won its first ever race.
This is the Australia story.
Yeah, so we were a new team, and we managed to get an amazing victory with Jeffrey Fournier taking the win. On the second to last lap, he made the pass for the win. I was literally jumping around my room, tears streaming from my face. My wife was sat on the sofa wondering what the hell was going on.
I can imagine her now sitting there with the face that she makes at you sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. That's right. So that was quite something. I mean, that was a lot of hard work during the off season that came to fruition straight away. And we were just hoping for like a top 10 or something like that. Our plans going into the season was just to avoid relegation.
Yeah.
If we get into the top 10, perfect. That's something to build on. So I mean, this season's been full of great moments for the team, but it's been full of great moments for the entire community as well. Yeah. I think Super League's shown GPVWC in its best light. I I truly do. I know there's been some controversy at times and stuff like that, but I think most sim leagues have controversy. It's how the community deals with it and learns from it is what's important. So yeah, I'm full of pride for the community as we're going towards the end of the season now.
Brilliant.
Good. Right then. So we're going to wrap it up because it's 25 to 12 and both me and Simon have work tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks again for tuning in. Thanks again for interacting with us. Thanks to everyone who came on for an interview.
Thanks for bearing with me with it.
That's all good. I hope it was insightful for everyone. I hope it was insightful for you as well, Simon.
It really was. It really was.
Good stuff. Excellent. And so we'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time. I might do an episode for ITC next week. We'll see. But we'll definitely do an episode for the American Grand Prix. And that's going to be a good one, I think. All right, guys. Take care.
Take it easy.